Okay, EATEA. Um, my executive service, what I teach my team is you don't have bosses, you have clients. You have clients that you want to make sure that they're good. You want to make sure that they have everything they need for them to do what they need to do. When you think of someone as your boss, you think of someone who has authority over you, who tells you what to do, and who, you know, you're just one step away from trying to run away from. But when you have clients, those that are business people like me that have clients, you want to build something with them. You want to build a friendship, a camaraderie. You want to build something with that person. But what I need you to understand is not every client you should have. You understand? You have to understand, you have to be in sync with that person. It doesn't happen right away, but in the beginning, you'll know if it's a good fit or if it's not. Just because it's employment doesn't mean that you should stay in a place or space that you're not happy with, or stay with a client that you're not happy with. And this is for people who don't have bosses and are entrepreneurs and have multiple clients. I wouldn't say rejected, because rejected is not the best word. I have let go of a lot of clients where I'm like, okay, this is not going to serve me or you, so I'm going to move on. You move on, have the best of life, and move on. You know when you've gotten as far as you can with that client. Not as far as you can building, but if that person's going in one direction, you're going a different direction, there's no problem with parting ways. You can even use each other as references, networks, stuff like that. But getting back to the original topic, it's all about, remember I always tell you, it's all about how you look at things and how you believe and understand what's happening to you and what you're going through. If you see yourself as you have an overseer, you have someone who tells you what to do, you can't make any decisions, you can't do any of these things, and you're just underneath this person, you're not going to grow. You understand? You're going to grow, but you're not going to grow as tall and as big and as bright and as beautiful as you would if you didn't believe that. Now, you could be like, well, okay, this is how it is with this person that I'm with. Then that is not the person that you're supposed to be with. Pause, rewind. That's not the person you're supposed to stay with. Do you understand? That might be the person that you need at this time to teach you and get you to the level that you're supposed to be, so you can springboard to a bigger client and to know how to serve a good client. Because one thing I've learned is serving a bad client has taught me how to serve a good one. Because like I say all the time, I'm going to be who I am regardless of how you treat me, but I will guard and limit the amount of exposure that you have to me and me to you. Now, if you're good to me, sky's the limit. Like, let's go. The shackles are off. The straitjacket is off. Everything's off. I have free reign, free parameters. I can fly because I'm a jet. You understand? I'm not talking to people who are like, I don't want to do that. No, that's not. I'm raising executive service professionals. We're not executive assistants. We're executive service professionals. We are here to come in and straighten everything out. When we walk into the room, everybody's like, oh my God, thank God they're here. Do you understand? That's the people and the level of service that I provide, and that's the level of service that I am training you guys to be. So what do you think? Do you have a boss right now that you can switch to a client role? I know I do. My boss is my client is not my boss. I call him. I even tell him. I tell him all the time, you're not my boss, you're my client. You know what I'm saying? So my job is to make sure he's comfortable, that he can do and lead the way he's supposed to lead, so that he doesn't have to worry about the small things, because he's already, some of the stuff that I see him dealing with, I'm like, no, thank you. Your job is safe with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it. But it's my job to, as his executive service professional, to make sure that he has what he needs and his team is where they need to be and everybody's motivated and everybody's having a great old time. Because if you're not having fun, what the hell is the point? You understand? What's the point? Work is only work because it's not fun. Find stuff that's fun. Got it? So now, back to what I was saying. So if you have a boss that you can't, there's no way I can change him to a client, or there's no way I can change this chick to a client. That may not be the person that you do that with. You understand? It would have to, because I had been there, and it started out very rough because the person, I had shackles on me, so I couldn't really maneuver the way I wanted to maneuver. But in hindsight, those shackles helped me understand how to manage up, down, and lateral. You understand? Meaning you're managing up to executives higher than your level. You understand? Higher than your title, higher than your age, higher than your tax bracket. You understand? You're managing down to people who are lower than you, lower level assistants, not lower in person-wise, but lower in like money or position or whatever, and then your colleagues. Excuse me, your colleagues. You have to be able to manage the people who are on the same level as you, and it's just a wheel just spinning, and that's how the wheel goes. So having a difficult client or a client that was challenging, I wouldn't call them difficult, but they were challenging, it made me grow up. It makes you grow up. But if you run from it and don't find the lesson in it, you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. You know, when you found the lesson and you are okay, you start coaching, and it's not, and then they can become a client, because that's what happened. In the beginning, there was no way I could make them a client. But by the time I stopped crying and whining about how I was being treated, and I actually looked at what was going on and what I was trying to be taught by the universe, everything changed. Everything changed. I set boundaries. I realized one of my main things is I wasn't setting any boundaries. You understand? So people are going to do to you what you allow them to do. So that's one of the other things. But that's for another video. This video is just about, hey, think about changing your boss to a client and see if the relationship between the two of you will change. And look up what is it to have a client if you don't have a business. Like, I've always had businesses, so I always knew what treating a client was like. Maybe you never have a business, so try this, okay? Let me know what you think. Is this something that you would want to consider? I do it. I'm successful at it, so I just wanted to share it with you to see if you'll be successful at my theory too. Test every theory. Stay up, stay blessed. Deuces, and we out.